Now moving on, Zimbabwe will not return land seized from former white commercial farmers almost 2 decades ago. This is according to President Emerson Mnangagwa. He was speaking to ZANU-PF party supporters in central Zimbabwe over the weekend. Zimbabwe embarked on a violent land reform program in 2000, taking over white-owned farms to resettle landless blacks. Mnangagwa's statement comes 2 months after white farmer Robert Smart got his land back after being evicted in June by ex-President Robert Mugabe's government. Thousands of white farmers were forced off their land by mobs or evicted under Robert Mugabe's presidency. The president says land must be productive. He further adds that Zimbabwe must mechanize and modernize agriculture. Now joining us in studio is Tapiwa Chadia Diamond, political analyst. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, now looking at what Mnangagwa has said with this statement, we heard him saying that they don't want to think along racial lines, that there are white farmers and black farmers, and going on to say that it should be a philosophy, obviously, of the past. Now, in the past, it was believed that it could be possible for black people to gain land and become the greatest of farmers. Will Mugabe's plan not work now that Mnangagwa has taken office?
First and foremost, what is important to understand is that the utterances of President Emerson Mnangagwa are still in line with his inauguration address. During his inauguration address, he said that white farmers would get compensation, but they would not get land back. So in essence, he has deviated, of course, from what ZANU-PF under Robert Mugabe was doing. But his main intention is to get back the credibility from the international community so that they'll also be able to trust him with their foreign direct investment.
And Mnangagwa also told the World Economic Forum in Davos recently that his new government believed thinking along racial lines was outdated when it came to farming and land ownership. What should be integrated into this program of farming after he had spoken at Davos?
What needs to be done now is to to give a redress of the injustices of the past. Yes, the land reform which was done in the year 2000 and afterwards was very barbaric, and it was against democracy, governance and human rights. So at the end, what needs to be done now is to incorporate the few farmers who are in Zimbabwe and give them the A2 farming skills, which are the commercial farms now, to give them and assist them together with the investors, and also have the new and upcoming farmers as well of Zimbabwean origin, of course, so that at least Zimbabwe will go back to what it was back in the days, because Zimbabwe is a very small country, but agriculture is very powerful in Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe was thriving on that, and it was also the breadbasket of Africa.
And there was no plan that was put in place on how farming skills should be transmitted to new black owners. How can Mnangagwa ensure that his plan now paves the way in tackling poverty in Zimbabwe?
Because currently, because now there is a program called Command Agriculture, we have seen that after the inauguration of Emerson Mnangagwa, he has been going up and down. He spoke at Davos World Economic Forum, where he spoke great things about Zimbabwe, saying that Zimbabwe is now open for business. And we have also seen that in and around Zimbabwe, he has been going up and down. He has been having sleepless nights, trying to revive back the economy of Zimbabwe. Why is he doing this? He's doing this because he understands that for him to get the credibility and for him to get that buy-in from the international community, he needs at least to address the situation. He's addressing the situation because we also know that now, currently, the news going around circles is that there is a committee which has been, which is there to spearhead the issues around compensation of the white farmers, because the assumption is that they've lost on about 9 billion. So there's that demand that is coming from the white commercial farmers. So he also has said he's going to, there's that 99 lease for land, which is there as well. That also would help inaugurate and incorporate the black farmers together with the white farmers within Zimbabwe. So whoever has the capacity to go and farm in Zimbabwe has the potential to go and apply to get that lease, and then they can use that lease to get financial assistance from banks.
And now you've spoken about government's top priority being to revive the ailing economy. And we've heard him say that Zim's economy is obviously struggling and unemployment is high and the youth lack opportunities. When will Zim start talks on strategies that could be implemented to revive the ailing economy, whilst there are talks about land taking place now and also introducing the youth in this?
If we look at Zimbabwe now, of course, when it comes to statistics, statistical data does not change overnight. Within a very short space of time, within 30 days into office, Emmerson Mnangagwa had already changed the policies around mining and also in terms of ownership of companies. He had also changed quite a number of policies within Zimbabwe. So what he has been doing is been working flat out to gain the confidence of the investors in Zimbabwe. So currently, yes, we also have the National Railways of Zimbabwe, which is going to be operational very soon. We've got a few mines which have been opening. That, at the end of the day, is going to assist in the economy. Of course, there is not going to be just a change overnight. It is a change which I think Emmerson Mnangagwa is completely sold out to. So what needs to be done now is that each and every Zimbabwean and each and every African and one else in the world needs to come up and assist the growing economy of Zimbabwe.
And now it's reported that close to 690,000 hectares of land was forcibly taken from the white farmers, including farming equipment, livestock and personal possessions. Have assessments been done on some farms to see how much damage there was in order to see what measures need to be put in place in order to rectify the situation taking place at the farms?
With the situation now, what President Emmerson Mnangagwa has said now, like what I said earlier on, that there is news around the circles to say there's a committee already. This committee is there to assist and to redress the issues around white farmers, the white farming community. Because in terms of cost, there's an estimate that at least $9 billion, there's a demand of $9 billion that they are giving to the government to say this is what we want back. When people went on the farms, it was chaotic, there was disorder, people were butchered, human rights were not respected. And as a result, people just went into farms without even the capacity to go and farm. That is why Zimbabwe now, even though the land is arable, they are not able to produce properly, because when they went onto the farms, they didn't have the know-how. The majority of them, they didn't have the know-how, and it were people who were going on farms based on political reasons. This had nothing to do with the capacity to do the production. So now what President Emmerson Mnangagwa is saying is that we need production in the agricultural sector, and each and every person who has a farm, we need to have a land audit first. We also need to make sure that whoever owns a farm has the capacity to produce and is also assisted by the government. So this is direction, the best foot forward, and Zimbabwe is going towards a good direction.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us in studio.
Thank you very much.
And that was Mr. Diamond, political analyst, joining us and just giving us more details. As you know, that Mnangagwa has said that they don't want to think along racial lines, that there are white farmers and black farmers, but saying that the philosophy of the past needs to stay in the past.